So, what similarities and differences did you find between your drawing of the mechanical hound and Ray Bradbury's sketch of the mechanical hound on page 191? We're now going to discuss the questions on the slide. Let's discuss. What does the mechanical hound symbolize? What do all of the words used to describe the hound have in common? How does this symbolism contribute to the themes in the text? The excerpt on the slide is from the section of the text you read for homework. It is part of the conversation Clarice and Montag have during their walk. I need a student volunteer to read the excerpt. Now, let's discuss. What do you notice about the author's craft, literary devices, and literary elements in this excerpt? How do the author's craft, literary devices, and literary elements contribute to the meaning of the excerpt? How does the language of the text reveal the author's point of view? How does the language of the text reveal a theme or central idea? And now I would like you to add symbolism to the anchor text theme tracker. The excerpts on the slide are from the section of text that you read for homework. It is the last few lines of the section when Beatty and Montag are talking about the hound. I would like a volunteer to read the excerpt. Now let's discuss the excerpts. What do you notice about Beatty's response to Montag? What impact does this response have on the reader? What does it mean that Beatty asked Montag if he has a guilty conscience? What does it mean that Beatty looks at Montag steadily and began to laugh? And now I want you to update your Evolution of Montag handout to include evidence from this passage in regards to Beatty. I now want you to add foreshadowing to the anchor chart theme tracker, anchor text theme tracker. Be sure to fill in the entire row. And now I want you to read along as we read aloud pages 25 through 29. In your reading log, I want you to note language that reveals Clarice's point of view related to the society. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, and as many times he came out of the house, and Clarice was there somewhere in the world. Once he saw her shaking a walnut tree, once he saw her sitting on the lawn knitting a blue sweater, 3 or 4 times he found a bouquet of late flowers on his porch, or a handful of chestnuts in a little sack, or some autumn leaves neatly pinned to a sheet of white paper and thumbtacked to his door. Every day Clarice walked him to the corner. One day it was raining, the next it was clear, the day after that the wind blew strong, and the day after that it was mild and calm, and the day after that calm day was a day like the furnace of summer, and Clarice with her face all sunburnt by late afternoon. "Why is it," he said one time at the subway entrance, "I feel I've known you so many years?" "Because I like you," she said, "and I don't want anything from you, and because we know each other." "You make me feel very old and very much like a father." "Now you explain," she said, "why you haven't any daughters like me if you love children so much." "I don't know." "You're joking." "I mean," he stopped and shook his head. "Well, my wife, she just never wanted any children at all." The girl stopped smiling. "I'm sorry. I really thought you were having fun at my expense. I'm a fool." "No, no," he said. "It was a good question. It's been a long time since anyone cared enough to ask a good question." "Let's talk about something else. Have you ever smelled old leaves? Don't they smell like cinnamon? Here, smell." Why, yes, it is like cinnamon in a way." She looked at him with her clear dark eyes. You always seem shocked." "It's just I haven't had time. Did you look at the stretched out billboards like I told you?" "I think so." "Yes." He had to laugh. "Your laugh sounds much nicer than it did." "Does it?" "Much more relaxed." He felt at ease and comfortable. "Why aren't you in school? I see you every day wandering around." "Oh, they don't miss me," she said. "I'm antisocial, they say. I don't mix. It's so strange. I'm very social indeed. It all depends on what you mean by social, doesn't it? Social to me means talking to you about things like this." She rattled some chestnuts that had fallen off the tree in the front yard. "Or talking about how strange the world is. Being with people is nice, but I don't think it's social to get a bunch of people together and then not let them talk, do you? An hour of TV class, an hour of basketball or baseball or running, another hour of transcription history or painting pictures, and more sports. But do you know, we never ask questions, or at least most don't. They just run the answers at you, bing, 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 and us sitting there for 4 more hours of film teacher. That's not social to me at all. It's a lot of funnels and a lot of water poured down the spout and out the bottom, and them telling us it's wine when it's not. They run us so ragged by the end of the day we can't do anything but go to bed or head for a fun park to bully people around, break window panes in the window smasher place, or wreck cars in the car wrecker place with the big steel ball, or go out in the cars and race on the streets trying to see how close you can get to lampposts, playing chicken and knock hubcaps. I guess I'm everything they say I am, all right. I haven't any friends. That's supposed to prove I'm abnormal. But everyone I know is either shouting or dancing around like wild or beating up one another. Do you notice how people hurt each other nowadays? You sound so very old. Sometimes I'm ancient. I'm afraid of children my own age. They kill each other. Did it always used to be that way? My uncle says no. 6 of my friends have been shot in the last year alone. 10 of them died in car wrecks. I'm afraid of them, and they don't like me because I'm afraid. My uncle says his grandfather remembered when children didn't kill each other, but that was a long time ago when they had things different. They believed in responsibility, my uncle says. Do you know, I'm responsible. I was spanked when I needed it years ago, and I do all the shopping and house cleaning by hand. But most of all, she said, I like to watch people. Sometimes I ride the subway all day and look at them and listen to them. I just want to figure out who they are and what they want and where they're going. Sometimes I even go to the fun parks and ride in the jet cars when they race on the edge of the town at midnight, and the police don't care as long as they're insured. As long as everyone has 10,000 insurance, everyone's happy. Sometimes I sneak around and listen in subways, or I listen at soda fountains, and do you know what? What? People don't talk about anything. Oh, they must. No, not anything. They name a lot of cars or clothes or swimming pools mostly and say, "How swell." But they all say the same things and nobody says anything different from anyone else. And most of the time in the caves, they have the joke boxes on and the same jokes most of the time, or the musical wall lit and all the colored patterns running up and down, but it's only color and all abstract. And at the museums, have you ever been? It's all abstract. That's all there is now. My uncle says it was different once. A long time back, sometimes pictures said things or even showed people. Your uncle said, your uncle said. Your uncle must be a remarkable man. He is. He certainly is. Well, I've got to be going. Goodbye, Mr. Montag. Goodbye. Goodbye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. The firehouse. Montag, you shin that pole like a bird up a tree. 3rd day. Montag, I see you come in the back door this time. The hound bother you? No, no. 4th day. Montag, a funny thing. Heard tell this morning. Fireman in Seattle purposefully set a mechanical hound to his own chemical complex and let it loose. What kind of suicide would you call that? 5, 6, 7 days. And then Clarice was gone. He didn't know what there was about the afternoon, but it was not seeing her somewhere in the world. The lawn was empty, the trees empty, the street empty, and while at first he did not even know he missed her or was even looking for her, the fact was that by the time he reached the subway, there were vague stirrings of dis-ease in him. Something was the matter. His routine had been distorted. A simple routine, true, established in a few short days, and yet he almost turned back to make the walk again, to give her time to appear. He was certain if he tried the same route, everything would work out fine. But it was late, and the arrival of his train put a stop to his plan. Based on Clarice's point of view, how are things in Bradbury's world similar or different than today's world? You're going to support your response with evidence from the text. We're going to complete this in Nearpod.